covering all your local high school football games with highlights and scores. Now, Football Friday, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union.
And hello again, everybody. I'm Gary Harris. Welcome into week 4 of the high school football season and week 5 of WVUA 23's Football Friday. Remember, there's a difference between there's a week 0. That was the first week of the show. So it's the 5th week of the show, 4th official week of the season. We're brought to you by Alabama Credit Union. I encourage you to visit alabamacu.com to learn more. Alabama Credit Union, loans for real life. And a reminder that the first week, as I said, of our show was week 0 of the football season, and that's why we're at week 5 of the show, week 4 of the season. Now, we're 1 hour once again this year, and we've got highlights from 17 high school football games for you this evening, plus our complete Football Friday high school scoreboard, our Football Friday Band of the Week, our premier service company Outside the Huddle feature, Recruiting Tales with Andrew Bone, Conyers Corner, and much, much more. And we begin, as we usually do, with our Game of the Week.
Now, the Football Friday Game of the Week.
Let's go to the Ridge for a big Class 6A Region 4 contest between Central and Northridge. Northridge strikes first. Rowdy Christensen to Colin Kapilovic. The big tight end, 25-yard touchdown. His dad's the offensive line coach at Alabama, and he is a player. Speaking of offensive lineman at Alabama, there's Wilkin Formby watching his brother and his former teammates with the Jags. Here comes Central trying to make something going, but 6'5" Cruz Lee comes up with the sack. That's a big defensive play. 3 seconds left in the half, and it is going to be a 42-yard field goal off the foot of Caleb Schofield. Money, 10-0 Jags at the intermission. Third quarter, Central trying to get it going. Armani White finds Jalen Powell. And then watch on 4th down. It looks like it's there on the slant, but it's not. Central turns it over on downs, but a bad snap allows Central to get a safety to make it 10-2, but then a little insurance. Brylan Tubbs, see you later. 35-yard touchdown. That made it 17-2. Central scored a touchdown and got a 2-point conversion to make this an interesting final as they cut it to 17-10, but that's as close as the Falcons would get. Huge win tonight. Bragging rights and more for Northridge at home tonight over the Falcons. Big region win in Class 6A Region 4, and as I said, 2 Tuscaloosa City schools. So Northridge gets bragging rights over Central. First place in 2A Region 5 on the line as Greene County traveled to Tuscaloosa Academy. Both teams 2-0 in the region. Right before halftime, Tuscaloosa Academy already up big when linebacker William Sykes is going to pick off the pass from Greene County quarterback Ryan Bullock, and he is going to cash it in. That is what they call a pick 6. A little bit of a horse collar there, too. It doesn't matter. He's in the end zone. 35-0 Knights at the half. They're in control. Second half, quarterback Preston Lancaster finds his guy, Caleb Colgrove. Touchdown. That made it 42-0. And on the very next drive, Greene County finally strikes and gets on the board as Ronald Wilder Jr. gets the touchdown. And they show some fight, but not nearly enough. TA moves to 5-0 on the season. They're also unbeaten in the region. And quite frankly, they look like maybe the team to beat in the region, as they haven't just been winning, they've been winning decisively, and they do that again tonight over the Greene County Tigers, 49-14 the final. Class 4A Region 4, American Christian, the Patriots hosting the Fairfield Tigers. ACA, the record's not great, but they've played good teams and they've lost close. First drive, Fairfield, some trickery. The double reverse pass, and it is there. Quarterback Jeff Duncan is wide open, and that's a big gain for the Tigers. Same drive, Jamaria Hamilton finds Mark Briggs in the end zone. 7-0 Fairfield on top. 3rd and goal for ACA. And Kai Young finds Eric Hines. But Cedric Terrence there with the nice breakup. They say he bobbled it. That is not a touchdown. ACA settles for a field goal to make it 7-3. And the Tigers get it back. And Jamari Hamilton puts it on the ground, trying to make a play. The Patriots come up with it. This one goes down to the wire. But we got bad news to report from here in Tuscaloosa as ACA falls at home. I'm telling you, this is a snake-bitten team a little bit, but you know what? Nobody's going to feel sorry for you in football. You just got to find a way to push through, but they lose again tonight at home to Fairfield, 27-24 the final. 5A Region 3, Sipsey Valley at home tonight against Jemison. And the Bears, who are those cheerleaders, man? That's about, what, 10 backflips in a row? Here comes Jemison. Chaz Melton. He's got reservations for 6, 28-yard touchdown. Panthers go on top 7-0. Sipsey Valley responds quickly. Running back Aiden Abernathy is going to punch it in. Man, that's what you call power running. Put that head down, lower those shoulders, and get it across the tie at 7. Fireworks continued in the second quarter as Panthers quarterback Luke Gann finds Richard Mims, and Jemison retakes the lead 14-7. With the ball back, the Bears go to work. L.J. Cormier over the top. Great throw and catch to Jamarian Jolly. And that would lead to a touchdown by Abernathy. What a game we had tonight up at Sipsey Valley. Let's go to the final score. And it is Sipsey getting the win. Big win at home tonight, 40-28. The Bears take it over Jemison. Class 4A Region 4, Bibb County at Holt. Holt's already got 2 wins on the season, and that's more than they had last season or the season before that. But they ran into the Choctaws, and Bibb County, well, let's just say they're a powerful team. Jamarius Sanders on the opening kickoff, setting up the Choctaws with good field position. 2 plays later, and Leverett hands it to Antonia Still for the touchdown. And the Choctaws are off and running, and they really didn't look back. Holt goes 3 and out, and they have to punt. And when they do, Kevin Holman is going to take it off the bounce, get the edge along the right side, and then turn on the Jets. Good hustle there by Holt to push him out of bounds, but that's going to set Leverett up as he's going to fake out the defense and run it in for a 3-yard touchdown. More from Bibb County, and Leverett this time. He is going to launch over the top to McCain McMillan for a 48-yard touchdown strike. And Bibb County rolls tonight at Holt over at Woody Clement Stadium. The final 49-8. The Choctaws take it. Let's go to Brookwood as Class 6A Region 4. McAdory traveling over to see the Panthers. Panthers have had a tough time of it this year, and it would not get better tonight. Second play of the game as both teams come running out, fired up. Now to the action. Second play, it didn't take long. Darion Davis to Trenton Charles, splits the safeties, and he's gone. 50-yard touchdown, made it 7-0 Yellow Jackets. And then Davis was just getting going good. He's going to throw another pass over the middle, this time to Carter Fegan, who puts on the moves and turns on the speed and runs by a host of Brookwood Panther defenders. This one was pretty much over at halftime. McAdory led 58-0 as we check out the final. The Yellow Jackets cruise tonight over the Panthers, 72-14. Rebuilding situation for Brookwood. I know fans are tired of hearing that, but, you know, first-year head coach, it's going to take some time, and a tough loss tonight at home for the Panthers. Well, we really only just scratched the surface on this edition of Football Friday. Still to come, Hillcrest was looking for its first Class 7A Region 3 victory tonight at Hewitt-Trussville. And the dominant team in 7A Region 3, the Thompson Warriors, were at Vestavia tonight for a clash against the Rebels. Rebels, though, gave them a ball game. Highlights from both of those games and more when we return to WVUA 23's Football Friday.
We are the Vestavia cheerleaders, and we love Football Fridays on WVUA 23 Sports. Go Rebels!
The Vestavia Hills cheerleaders welcome us back into Football Friday, presented by Pool and Patio Center right here on WVUA 23. Well, I am excited to show you this next game because Hillcrest made the move up from Class 6A to Class 7A this season. And so far, it's been a tough go with home losses to Hoover and Vestavia. Tonight, though, the Pats were looking for a different outcome as they went on the road to Hewitt-Trussville. And in the first half, Hillcrest really was ready to go in this one. Let's show you the highlights. Hillcrest is going to strike first, in fact. Jacoby Harris on the little end around. I'm telling you something, this kid I think is a freshman. If I saw that right tonight, he's a freshman. 19-yard touchdown. How good is he going to be? 6-0 Pats. They went for 2, didn't make it. Huskies, though, come right back with a similar play. As they go with a reverse, Michael Iguodanomi, 61-yard touchdown, made it 7-6 Hewitt. But here come the Patriots. Bryson Kimbrough, who really has a lot of game. Beautiful throw to Jordan Chambers-Smith, and then watch the move he puts on the corner. Woo! Gone. 13-7 Hillcrest. Back and forth we go, though. Hewitt-Trussville gets it back, and Deuce Austin, just a little stretch play, turns it up, and he is gone. 50-yard touchdown run. That made it 14-13 Hewitt. It was 16-16 in the third, but as we check out the final, Patriots finding that life in Class 7A can be tough in Region 3 as they fall again tonight. Again, this game was tied at one point 16-16, but Hewitt-Trussville ends the game on a 21-0 run, and they take it over the Patriots tonight, 37-16. Staying in Class 7A Region 3, Thompson at Vestavia. Rebels head coach Robert Evans and Thompson head coach Mark Freeman catch up pregame. Opening kickoff, Vestavia catches Thompson off guard. What a great call to start the game. Onside kick. William Hose grabs the football for the Rebels, and they're going to take advantage. They get an extra possession, and Will Ainsworth recovers the fumble in the end zone. Hey, you know what? It counts. They put it on the ground, but the right guy recovered it for the Rebels. They're up 7-0. Later in the first, it's 10-0. But there goes Michael DeJean breaking free for a 40-yard touchdown run for the Warriors. It's now 10-7. Still in the first quarter, Rebels quarterback Charlie Taff drops back and finds Jared Smith. Only one problem. Jared Smith, the outstanding defender, Auburn commit, brings it back the other way for a pick six. Vestavia, though, still led 17-14 at the half. Third quarter, Rebels in the red zone. Price Lamister stripped by Anquan Fagans, another Auburn commit, and then Fagans, who is really talented, is going to take it all the way back. You can't make mistakes like that against Thompson if you're going to win. That turned the game around big time. Pick six and a fumble recovery, 87 yards for a touchdown. And then Thompson, once they get you down, they know how to keep you down as they just continue to make defensive plays. Another pick six. And as we check out the final, Thompson wins it 38-17. Vestavia had their chances. They were ready to go. Again, you know, and of course I know when you play a quality team, they force you into mistakes, but 3 defensive touchdowns you give up, you know, you play clean and you're in this game. But Thompson rolls 38-17. 3A Region 5, Gordo tonight hosting Midfield, and this is the family of Jack Plowman. His parents, honorary captains. He passed away, the Gordo football player. What a great ceremony tonight. And then Gordo playing for their late teammate. They were inspired. Cam Lark takes the screen 22 yards to the house. But look at this. Midfield showing some spunk. Keonta Chambers, 55 yards to tie it at 6. But Gordo, once they get rolling, they are they're hard to handle. Cam Lark scores. This time it's C.J. Lark on the other end of that pass. Later, just bullying their way into the end zone. Gordo led 33-12 at halftime, and the Green Wave would go on to win over the Midfield team tonight for over in the Birmingham area, 61-18. Gordo, they lost last week, kind of stunned us all, but they bounced back big time tonight. 1A Region 5, Berry at South Lamar. Homecoming at South Lamar. You know, we're going to get a lot of homecomings. We're at that point in the season. Caleb Vale celebrates for South Lamar with a 20-yard first down run. That's Caleb Vale. Let's see Caleb Vale again. This time an 8-yard run. But this time South Lamar is stuffed by the Berry defense. But when they get it back, Caleb Vale just keeps the chain moving. And it eventually leads to a touchdown by Caleb Vale. Let's check out the final score in this one. Berry, though, you saw a lot of highlights by South Lamar, but let me tell you what, Berry had a lot more highlights. We just didn't see them. 50-12, the final score tonight. Berry goes on the road and ruins South Lamar's homecoming. 8-man football tonight. North River hosting Evangel Christian. And Evangel, again, I want to kind of preface my comments by saying Northridge is playing a lot of young players, 8th graders, 9th graders, even a couple 7th graders. Evangel launches a bomb, 60 yards to go up. The Lions on top of the Chargers. And this is the way it would go, and it's the way it's gone for most of the games this year for North River. Although right here they show some life. Carson Cooley to Jalen Alexander. You got to love that. But the Lions just too much. Again, bigger, stronger, faster. that's a tough combination for North River. But again, they're taking their lumps now with the idea that those 8th graders are going to be 9th graders, those 9th graders are going to be 10th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, so forth and so on. As you see, Evangel Christian quarterback with a long run there. This was all Evangel Christian, as you can tell from the highlights as we check out the final. The Chargers fall hard again tonight, 64-0. But I'm not making excuses. I'm just being factual here. A lot of young kids playing for North River. Well, still to come tonight, Bama Central's Joe Gaither will join me for analysis of our high school game of the week between Northridge and Central. It was a good one. But up next, more highlights. The Hoover Bucks look to remain unbeaten in region play tonight. Hoover was at home against the Prattville Lions. We'll have the highlights for you next on WVUA 23's Football Friday. Again, thanks to Pool and Patio Center for our cheerleaders. Welcome back to Football Friday on WVUA 23, presented by Alabama Credit Union. Class 7A Region 3 has traditionally been composed of Birmingham and Tuscaloosa area schools, but this season, Prattville joined the loaded region, making it even tougher. Tonight, Prattville at Hoover, and we've got the action in this. We're going to pick it up first quarter. Lions up 6-0, but Hoover's Keelan Jefferson is going to punch it in with some tough running. About an 8-yard score there over right tackle to make it 7-6. Next possession for the Bucks, Mac Beeson is going to find Jonah Winston in the back of the end zone. He drags the toe, gets it in for a touchdown, 13-6 Bucks. Then just before the end of the first, Beeson finds a wide open Winston again, and he does the rest as he's going to outrace the defense to the goal line, 19-6 Hoover. Then the first drive of the second quarter. And Beeson is going to hit Hunter Purdue in the end zone, 26-6 Hoover at half. They were in charge tonight. Let's check out the final. And it is all Hoover tonight as they roll over Prattville this evening. Big win for the Bucks as they remain unbeaten in the region, and they top Prattville 40-6. 6A Region 3, unbeaten Spain Park at home tonight against 2-2 Ben Russell. Tim Vakakis, the head coach of Spain Park, has done a heck of a job. They're unbeaten, down 8-0 early, but the Jags would roar back. Junior quarterback Brock Bradley, the slant to Everett Thorson. Turbo booster there. He's gone 68 yards. Wildcats go for 2. It's 8-7. 3rd and 7 for the Wildcats now, and Elijah Johnson will find Rodney Greer, who can't get the first down, and that leads to a turnover. And then it is going to be Spain Park taking advantage. C.J. Calley to Everett Thorson for the second TD of the quarter. And then Spain Park back in the red zone. And it's another touchdown. And the Jags lead 21-8. And as we go to the scoreboard, it is Spain Park piling it on. Boy, they got a good football team this year. Remember, they beat Hoover. Spain Park's in 6A now, but they beat Class 7A Hoover earlier to win that rivalry game for the first time in a while. They look strong. All right, 6A Region 6, Oxford at Mountain Brook. Mountain Brook coming in at number 8. First drive for the Yellow Jackets, and it ends in an early fumble. Harris Crumpton is going to recover the ball for the Spartans, and they take over. Caden Walker Hoffbauer then on the keeper around the right side, showing some great vision and mobility. It's first down. 2 plays later, Stuart Andrews punches in a 2-yard rushing touchdown, putting Mountain Brook on the board 7-0. The Spartans defense then getting it done. William Farrow with the quarterback sack, forcing a turnover on downs, and then Hoffbauer with Mountain Brook's first pass of the night, but it's to Archie Andrews. And with that, the Spartans would add another rushing touchdown by Andrews. It's 14-0 Mountain Brook. 13 seconds to go in the first half. And Mason Mims finds Nick Richardson in the corner of the end zone for an Oxford touchdown. 14-7 at the half. And Oxford comes back late to shock Mountain Brook as we check out the final, 29-28. What a win for Coach Sam Adams and the Yellow Jackets tonight over the Mountain Brook Spartans in Mountain Brook. Great comeback and a huge victory for Oxford. Class 6A Helena hosting Class 5A Moody in a non-region game. Moody's won their last 2 games by a combined score of 82-0. And that's what Helena had to deal with. Charles Johnston drops and throws a 61-yard touchdown pass to Elijah Rutledge. Moody up 7-0. Second quarterback Dominic Santiago scores on the handoff, tying the game at 7. But Moody goes 80 yards in less than 2 minutes to take a 14-7 lead on a 16-yard Charlie Johnson run. The Blue Devils extend their lead to 21-7 with a touchdown pass by Johnston with 19 seconds remaining. And Moody beats Helena tonight at Helena. I consider this a little bit of an upset. It's 26-21, the final. A heck of a football game tonight over there in Helena. 5A Region 5, Wenonah at Briarwood tonight. Dragons lead 7-0 at the half. Third quarter action. The Lions go to the air. Charles Dedman will find his target, Dane Whitehead, wide open on the right side, and he'll take it down inside the 10. First and goal for the Lions. On third and goal from the 4, direct snap to Dedman, and he'll try the Tim Tebow jump pass. Uh-oh. That's not the way that play was designed. It is picked off by Jason Bailey in the end zone. Briarwood drives down but gets nothing out of it. Final play of the third quarter, though, the Lions dial up a reverse. Ball ends up in the hands of Braden Robertson. He takes it down to the 10. In the fourth quarter, Briarwood gets their first touchdown of the game. Brooks Allred from the Wildcat position ties it at 7. Then the Dragons started airing it out. Simple three-step drop for Wenonah quarterback Neil Brown, who will throw it up for Bailey. And what a grab. Right into your living room, right into the camera. Dragons get the touchdown, and Wenonah gets the win tonight on the road at Briarwood. Good football game, 20-14. Well, last night, Homewood traveled to Jackson-Olin in 6A Region 5. That's Joe Webb, the Jackson-Olin first-year head coach, former UAB player, former NFL player. Aiden Moody, though, puts it on the ground, but picks it up. But then it winds up on the ground again, and Homewood gets it. And Evan Osmer with the touchdown. Homewood got on top early, and then they rolled in this one. Caleb Carson finds Asher Ketchum, and that's kind of the way it went all night. Patriots win this one big. 52-0 is the final score. Well, coming up next, our Football Friday Band of the Week, and also tonight's other games as we run down the complete Football Friday scoreboard. Another Friday Night Lights is in the books, and we've got more of it coming your way next on Football Friday. That was the Bibb County High School Marching Band. They're our Band of the Week presented by Jolly Hearth and Patio. Welcome back to Football Friday on WVUA 23. It's time now to check in on the complete Football Friday scoreboard, run down the rest of the scores for you. So let's get right to it and let you know what went on tonight here in Alabama on the scoreboard. County High falls tonight at Oak Mountain, 49-35. And Northside, wow, they were unbeaten. They lose a tough one. They played a lot of road games here, but they're going to be coming home. But tonight they fall at Shelby County, the Rams, and their unbeaten season come to an end, 35-28. Holy Spirit wins their third game of the year. They take Francis Marion down 13-8. It was Pickens County over Brilliant, 22-zip the final. Might have been Holy Spirit's second win, I'm not sure, but they get a win tonight. Hill County over Thorsby, 33-19. Aliceville down Isabella, 47-27. It was Haleyville falling at Fayette County. Tigers get that one, 28-7. Demopolis big at Selma, 41-zip. Hubbardsville over Marion County, 22-18. And Vincent wins at Sullivan. Big road win tonight for Vincent. It was Winfield over Phil Campbell, 43-28. And Jackson Academy down Southern Academy in AISA action, 38-20. Hamilton blanks Curry, 48-zip. Shades Valley, a nice win over Pinson Valley in the Battle of the Valleys, 25-19. It was Pelham winning at Chilton County, 37-14. Chelsea doubles up Calera, 56-28. Also tonight, Hueytown in a battle of good teams in 6A Region 4. Hueytown takes it over Bessemer City, 34-14. Pell City all over Huffman, 55-7. J.B. Pennington loses a wild one at Locust Fort, 51-44. And last night in 8-man action, it was Tuscaloosa Christian on Thursday night over Cornerstone Christian, 64-46. Well, that's the complete Football Friday scoreboard, but we aren't done with high school football. Up next, Bama Central's Joe Gaither will join us for analysis of our high school game of the week. That game was Central at Northridge. We'll be right back with more Football Friday here on WVUA 23. And welcome back to Football Friday. One score that I did not get in, that I had in the scoreboard, just to, like I said, it's crazy when all these scores are coming in. University Charter out of Livingston beat Pickens Academy tonight up in Carrollton, 34-6 the final. I'm Gary Harris, joined now by Bama Central's Joe Gaither for our Game of the Week breakdown. Really a good one tonight, Joe, between Central and Northridge. Region game and 6A Region 4. Rivalry game, bragging rights on the line, and it was a hard-nosed, you were out there for all of it, it was a hard-nosed, tough, physical football game. Northridge came out on top.
Absolutely. The Jaguars scored on the very first possession of the game, and they were able to kick a 45-yard field goal on the last play of the half to take a 10-0 lead into halftime. Really, it was all about Northridge's defense. They had 3 stops, 1 right there on the goal line. They had four stops right on the goal line to open up the fourth quarter, but they had 3 fourth down stops in the game. And ultimately, they embodied Coach Lawley tonight. Yeah. Really physical up front, really tough up front, not very many mistakes, and really their physicality ground down the Central Falcons.
You said it. Their physicality and mistakes. Central had opportunities in this game. Their young quarterback is so talented, but he had some miscues tonight.
Armani White, he missed a touchdown pass down the left side of the sideline that would have gone for a touchdown. They would have brought it to 10-7 with still plenty of time to get back into the game. There was just a few misses in the passing game for Armani, and we know he's still a young quarterback. He's still got a lot of room to grow, but just not enough in the passing game tonight for Central to be viable offensively.
When you look at these two teams, and 6A Region 4 is going to send 4 teams. Hueytown and Bessemer City are both strong. Do you think both of these teams can get in the playoffs?
I think you're looking at 4 really strong teams. You just hit the 2 out-of-town teams. They're playing tonight. I'm hoping to hear for a final score.
Yeah, Hueytown got the win.
Okay, great. I do think that Northridge and Central are both looking at those other 2 playoff spots. I know that each of them lost to one of the other 2 schools, but there's still plenty of weeks ahead of us. I think that these 2 are the 2 in-town schools that are favored to take those 2 playoff spots.
You know, again, I've got so many scores rattling through my head. I believe I had it on the scoreboard, but Hale County won tonight.
You did.
And they're 5-0 for the first time since 1977. How about that?
Oh, the Wildcats, and they have just been growing, really trying to put some things together, and that's encouraging. I love to see in Tuscaloosa, there's been so many growing programs, rebuilding programs during my time covering high school football, and to see them finally having some success, it's great.
And Northside was 4-0 playing all these road games. They've only had 1 home game. Tonight, though, at Shelby County, they lose by a touchdown, their first loss, but now they're going to get to come home for a few games.
And I love watching games at Northside, the Rams, that tough style of play, really running the football well. I think that they're going to be a sneaky team as well in their region to look for the playoffs as well.
And I feel bad for Jamie Mitchell and Hillcrest. The last 3 years, they've had teams that were good enough to play in 7A Region 3. And they go up this year after they lost so many great players, and it's been tough. They haven't won a region game yet. They were in that game in the third quarter, 16-16 with Hewitt, but then Hewitt scored 21 unanswered to win it 37-16.
Well, Gary, that's the depth. That's the difference in that region, is when you get to that 7A region, it's that fourth quarter where, okay, those rosters are so deep of juniors, sophomores, freshmen that Hillcrest just doesn't quite have right now. And I agree with you. I feel terrible. They could have been 6A champions any time in the last 3 years if circumstances, Ryan Williams hadn't been on South Saraland, so just a hard time for Hillcrest.
We're almost to the halfway point of the season. It flies by. We covered a lot tonight, but just some thoughts on the season to this point.
Well, I'm really looking forward to continuing to watch Gordo, because I know they lost last week while I was out, but they bounced back tonight. I think that they can really make some noise. And TA, I heard you talking about TA earlier in the program.
Just like a juggernaut.
Preston Lancaster. I mean, is he the best quarterback in the area? He might be along with Bryson Kimbrough. So he's been a real joy to watch as well. And you talk about a team that has come, when they transitioned to AHSAA, they've just taken it by storm. Their youth has just ascended at the perfect time for them. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Knights continue to do as well.
Real quickly, you had great coverage from Madison last week. That was a great trip.
It was amazing, really. The people in Madison were so nice. Everybody was so kind to all the Alabama fans. And then Alabama playing well, lots of explosive plays on offense and havoc plays on defense, and really just the end of a preseason period for Alabama. We're looking forward to some hefty competition next week.
Next week we'll get it. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Gary.
When we come back, our award-winning Outside the Huddle feature. Stay with us.
We're the Gordo High School cheerleaders, and we love Football Fridays. You're on WVUA 23 Sports. Let's go Green Way!
And welcome back to Football Friday. I'm Gary Harris, and it's time now for our award-winning Outside the Huddle feature presented by Premier Service Company, the power to keep you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Tonight, a best of Outside the Huddle from 2022. You're going to meet a Sipsey Valley cheerleader who, win or lose, brought joy and excitement to the team, the students, and the fans as well. Football Friday's Grace Brister introduces us to Haley Rodriguez.
The sights and sounds of a high school football game are unmistakable and irreplaceable. Remove any part and it feels incomplete.
Keep the student section alive and to keep our fans alive.
Everyone moving into the game, everyone excited and pumped for us to get a touchdown.
Haley Rodriguez is a natural at helping create that atmosphere. She is one in every 1,200 people diagnosed with Down syndrome. But that label does not fit how capable she is. Haley's older sister was a Sipsey Valley cheerleader. Like most siblings, Haley wanted that too.
And Haley would watch Megan, and she'd learn the cheers in the stands, and then from that point forward, I mean, she'd be doing it in the stands, and everybody would say, Haley, you need to be a cheerleader. You need to do that. I mean, you're good at it, so do it.
In the past, Haley competed in gymnastics, as well as cheering for the Alabama team in the Special Olympics. Her family didn't see why being a cheerleader for her high school would be any different.
And they said, absolutely, Haley can try out. She just has to do exactly what anybody else would have to do, and she did. She would have to go to cheer clinics, she would have to do tryouts, and we did all of that.
Haley went through tryouts just like everybody else. Haley wasn't given any kind of pass. She's on the team because she made the team.
There were concerns. It's impossible to be prepared for every possible scenario. Haley has a built-in support system. Her grandmother attends nearly every practice.
If it was not for her, Haley probably would not be able to do half the things that she does.
And while Haley's Nana has practically become an honorary member of the team, the other cheerleaders have welcomed Haley into the family.
When we started at tryout clinic, Haley fit right in and the girls just fell into place.
Yeah, I think it's just a special connection towards us. She just feels connected towards me, and that she just feels like she needs to be with me. And I love that, and I really appreciate that. I mean, last week I watched her just walk in the student section and cheer for us. They really just accepted her. Like, they didn't make room for her. They let her just be there.
Learning motions, cheers, dances, anything can be difficult. But Haley has a special gift when it comes to recalling them.
Her memorization skills, it shocks me because, I mean, she can listen to a song maybe 2 or 3 times and she knows the song by heart. There may be something she doesn't quite know, but if you'll watch her for just a second, she'll look around and kind of see what everybody else is doing, and then she'll pick it up.
Haley can stunt. She probably is the strongest member of our team.
Haley is much more than a cheerleader. She is an inspiration.
People will reach out to me, or as we're leaving the game, they'll say, hey, you know, we enjoy seeing her do this on Friday nights. She's really good at it, and it just warms our heart to see that. I've had mothers reach out to me, hey, how did you get her on the cheer team? Like, what did you do? Don't be scared to reach out, because all they have to say is no.
Probably. Haley is living out her dreams. She hopes that through her experience, she can show the world that you can do anything you set your mind to. Her parents say that Down syndrome does not define her, and she is proving that every day.
And I definitely think that Outside the Huddle was worth an encore presentation. Coming up, Conyers Corner with the legendary Eddie Conyers, and Kenneth Kelly will preview Saturday's big games when he takes us around the SEC. Football Friday will continue right after this timeout.
I've been officiating a long time. I was in the Gulf South Conference. I applied for the Southeastern Conference, but things didn't quite work out. did a lot of high school. And you get officials together and you always talk about what's happened to you in a game. And I always have the topper. I had a high school game here in Alabama between two undefeated teams, big ball game, nothing to nothing, 2 or 3 minutes to play. The home team quarterback on a medley series, he fakes it, he runs 80 yards for a touchdown. The people are going crazy. They're throwing whiskey bottles, babies up in the air, going crazy. I looked back down the field and there's a flag. I said, who threw the flag? Well, I didn't throw it. The clock operator threw the flag from the press box. You know, in high school, you have about 4 or 5, 10 rows of seating in the press. He threw the flag from the press box. He said, there's clipping right back here. I just said, I remember picking this flag up and says, no, there's no penalty here. Touchdown. Let's get the heck out of here while we're still alive. Nobody can top that. That's the #1 all-timer.
If there's a better topper than Eddie Conyers, I haven't met him. Welcome back to Football Friday. Oklahoma at Tennessee and Auburn at Arkansas highlight tomorrow's top Southeastern Conference matchups. Here's Kenneth Kelly to take us around the SEC.
As we hit the halfway mark in September, this officially marks my favorite time of the year. The summer heat starts to fade, and the leaves change into beautiful, bright colors. But this also means that head-to-head SEC football is officially back. This week, teams have their first conference game of the season, and there's one overall theme: old friends turned into foes. The 6th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers travel to Norman to take on the 15th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. This is the Sooners' first conference game since joining the SEC. While these teams have only faced each other 4 times in the history of their programs, they are much more familiar with each other than you think. Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel was the former quarterback for the Sooners in 2000. He helped lead them to a national championship and won AP Player of the Year. During his time there, the current Oklahoma head coach Brent Venables was also serving as the co-defensive coordinator. The crossover doesn't stop there. The Oklahoma starting defensive tackle Dejon Terry played for the Volunteers for 2 years before transferring to Oklahoma. Terry stated that he's excited to play against the best offense in the nation, but the Sooner defense will have to lock in on all the details and come to compete on Saturday. Auburn hosts Arkansas Razorbacks in the SEC opener for both teams this season. Arkansas defensive coordinator Travis Williams is no stranger to the Plains. He played for the Tigers from 2001 to 2005 and led the team in tackles during the Tigers' 2004 undefeated season. He also served as the offensive analyst, linebackers coach, and co-defensive coordinator under Gus Malzahn from 2014 to 2021. He joined the Razorbacks last season after spending 2 years at UCF as the defensive coordinator. After making a quarterback change last week, the Auburn Tigers will be starting redshirt freshman Hank Brown again for his second career start. Coach Williams will do everything he can to take advantage of Brown's inexperience and try to shut down the Tiger offense. The 5th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels host the Georgia Southern Eagles this Saturday. This will be the second time these programs have ever met. Georgia Southern head coach Clay Helton and Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin go way back and are very close friends. Helton was hired by Kiffin in 2010 at USC to be the quarterback's coach. After Kiffin departed from the program, Helton stayed with the Trojans and was eventually named the head coach in 2021. This was also the same year that he recruited current Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart to play with the Trojans. Dart spent a year under Helton as a backup quarterback before transferring to Ole Miss. Earlier this week, Coach Helton said that Kiffin and Dart are like a family to him. And this Saturday, we will get to see which side comes out on top at the family reunion. That's around the SEC, and I'm Kenneth Kelly for Football Friday.
Thanks, Kenneth. Still to come, Andrew Bone's Recruiting Tales, and WVUA 23's Richard Scott will have your weekend forecast. That's straight ahead on Football Friday. Welcome back to Football Friday. I'm Gary Harris. Let's check in now with On3's Andrew Bone for this week's Recruiting Tales and the really well-known story of Recruit X.
Back in 2008, Alabama had just come off signing the #1 recruiting class in the country. They go in, they start recruiting Kenny Bell out of Louisiana, who was already committed to LSU, but he was one of those kids who was very quiet. Didn't really do any interviews. I always talked about how solid he was with LSU. Kenny ends up going to Tuscaloosa for a home game during the season. He took a picture, sent it to us, told us, don't let anybody know that I was here. So we didn't put it out, we kept it quiet, and all the way up until signing day, there was no sense that he was flipping, that anything was happening, except for he had told us that it was a done deal, that he was flipping to Alabama. At the time, I'm working with the Tuscaloosa News. We were trying to figure out, all right, we know this is happening. How can we keep it completely quiet, completely confidential, but also kind of give some sort of feeling that something was going to happen. And we had it on the front page of the Tuscaloosa News website, which was tidesports.com, Recruit X. So everyone was trying to figure out who was Recruit X, who was flipping to Alabama that day. We sent a few of our guys down there. I said, I hope I'm not sending you guys down here and nothing happens, and he signs with LSU. They go down there and he announces that he's signing with Alabama. Shocks the entire school, but we had our guys there that got info. After that Recruit X happened, it turned into Recruit X every single year after that, because everyone was wondering who was going to be that surprise commit, that flip, that shocking moment that was going to happen on signing day. Finally, that kind of went away after maybe 4 or 5 years, but the next 4 or 5 years after Kenny Bell signed, everybody wanted to know who was Recruit X, and that was where Recruit X was born, was with Kenny Bell.
Another example of why Bone is one of the best in the business. Before we go, let's check in with WVUA 23 Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott for our weekend forecast.
All right, those local high school football games are wrapping up. Fortunately, no tropical rain bands like last week. Our weather will stay dry for tonight and for the weekend coming up. Got some college football to talk about. Bama off this weekend, but let's go down to Jordan-Hare Stadium, talk about Auburn, take it on Arkansas. And again, before game time, around lunchtime, looking at full sunshine, mid-80s. If you're going to be out tailgating or heading to the game, no travel concerns in terms of weather conditions. 2:30, that kickoff down there in Auburn. Got 90 degrees, lots of sunshine, fourth quarter on 88, so we'll be quite warm down in Lee County and Mississippi State. The Bulldogs here. Also, home game taking on Florida in Starkville. And again, before kickoff, 9 a.m. heading out to the game. We're looking at temperatures in the upper 70s. Not bad. Starting off the morning, we're getting a bit hotter during the day. 11 a.m. kickoff, 87 and 92. Wrapping up the game over in Starkville by the time we get into the fourth quarter. But again, the good news for college football happening over the weekend, at least for the southeastern part of the U.S., no weather hazards at all. Obviously, we'll be watching for next week for some sort of potential tropical system that could have some impact on a few of those games. Again, that's a look at that college football forecast update.
Thank you, Richard. And that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Football Friday. A reminder to join us this weekend on WVUA 23 News at 10 on Saturday and Sunday night. And, of course, next week we're going to get cranked up for Alabama versus Georgia. And hopefully we are working hard on our tower transmitter issue. Hopefully we're going to be back on Dish, Direct, Xfinity, Spectrum, all these different systems very, very soon. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Football Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody. And next week it's Bama versus Georgia. Good night.